Welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tehrani. Thanks for watching us today. We're at our Norwalk, Connecticut headquarters. On our program is Ilissa Miller. She's the CEO of iMPR Public Relations. Ilissa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
My pleasure, our pleasure. I thought we'd start out by talking about your organization. I mean, it says public relations in the name of your company, so it's kind of a dead giveaway, so people get a sense of what you do. Why don't you give us just a little bit of your background as to what led you to this point in your career, having your own company with all these clients?
Well, first off, I am blessed to be able to have my own company. I've been in the telecom space for over 16 years, and I've had the pleasure of learning from some of the industry's greatest, being in the industry during a time where companies were emerging and building, some of the first public submarine cable systems. So in my career, I've had the chance to be part of the Global Crossing first data gathering meetings from day one, and working with Quest Communications back in the day in helping to advise them and many, many more emerging companies. And it was at that time where I fell in love with the industry. And I really sought to understand all different aspects of what it takes to do business in telecom and the technology sector. It was just so exciting. So I parlayed my career from there to get hands-on experience on the inside of companies. I was fortunate enough to do marketing at Ericsson in New York City. I was fortunate enough to sell co-location space for companies in the New York market back in 1999. And then in 2000, when Bandex, the bandwidth exchange, launched its business in the New York market and in the U.S., I was fortunate enough to get that opportunity as well. I was brought on to do business development and marketing for that company, where we helped to reinvigorate the market and creating bandwidth exchange markets and everything from switched exchange opportunities to IP exchanges and more. We all know what happened to that sector in that industry, though there are still survivors to this day. In 2004, we sold the Bandex business to Arbanet, who is now Primus Telecommunications International Group, and the IP exchange still exists. And I was key in helping to build that platform from both a marketing and a sales perspective. It was from that experience that I went to Telstra International, where I was a product marketing manager and helped to bring to market their VoIP solutions, MPLS network solutions, all for the major enterprise markets. And having that experience with marketing, with business development and sales, offers me a very unique opportunity to work with a wide range of companies in advising them and helping them bring to market their unique messages. And that's really our focus at iMPR, is helping companies find their voice, their unique messaging, and bringing that to market through a variety of channels. Even though we have PR in our name, we're more than just PR. We do PR and marketing and product and sales support, really helping companies define their messaging, their target markets, and then using a variety of different avenues and opportunities to bring those messages to market.
So I was going to ask you a question about how you differentiate, but you really were great in terms of letting us know. Is there any other way that you differentiate yourself from other companies in the traditional public relations space?
Sure. And you just used the word traditional because we are not traditional. In describing my background, I've worked with many PR agencies and marketing firms and branding firms, but we are anything but traditional. That helps us because we don't have a specific book that we are following through when it comes to PR. We know that book, we've read the book, and we do follow aspects of that book. But we go beyond that. We go beyond the traditional, where we can think outside of the box and identify unique and different ways to go to market. And it's not just about the communication side of it. It is about the branding and the whole package and marketing and the marketing communications, that when you bring it all together and you have a holistic view of that, and you understand how business is done and how products are developed and brought to market, that allows you to come up with unique and different ways to bring other companies and their value proposition to market that's not your standard public relations technique.
Now the market's changed. I mean, obviously you're an evolved company, a 2.0 company, or however you want to phrase how your company is different than the traditional PR organizations. But I'm curious, how has technology changed the way that clients need to communicate with their customers? You know, things like obviously Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn. I mean, we've had even members of your team have tweeted a number of the guests that have been on our program today, and that's something that you simply couldn't do before Twitter, obviously. And I'm curious, how do you see all these different channels coming together to help the companies that you're promoting?
Great question. Technology has changed and continues to change every day and every moment of every day. We are fortunate enough, collectively, you and I, to work in this industry where we have insights into the different ways that companies are building technology on the back end to enable things. And a great example is we were talking about NEC's programmable flow technology. And it dawned on me that if we had that back in 2000 when Bandex, the exchange, was out in the marketplace creating on-demand access to bandwidth, it would have been such a different marketplace.
Sure.
Today,
Sure.
we have that technology. And so taking that into the communication side, in communicating, now we have a lot more tools and a lot more avenues to get to market. What most companies don't understand is that on the social media side, whether it's Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook, each one of those channels has a different target market and audience that you go to. And Twitter, for example, you mentioned Twitter, we're tweeting. Who are we tweeting to when we're doing that? We're actually tweeting to organizations like yourself. Most of those companies on Twitter are those that are monitoring and looking for news and trends and trying to figure out what the world is interested to talk about. And so if you're not talking about it out on Twitter, then you're not going to necessarily get the recognition that you may want to. It's not the only place that they're looking for sure. But out of all of the statistics that are reported upon, more than 70% of those in the media world are getting their news from the social media side of the business. That's
so
where
if a tree falls in the woods and it's not on social media, did it really fall? That's the question.
You know what? It fell to somebody, but if it wasn't a big tree, then it doesn't really matter, does it?
So you've got to get it out on social to make every tree falling seem like it's a big tree and get the maximum virality of this information flow, right? To get it out there.
Absolutely. You know better than I do, the internet is powerful, and it is growing a lot more powerful each and every day, not only because of the information and the vast amounts of information that's out there, but because of the way that the media and the way that media is delivering content to the masses. Here we are on video. Could this have been done, 10 years ago? Probably, but how many people would watch it? And, let alone today, we're going to have a lot of people watching this just because it is out there. People want to see and hear the news on video. They want to be able to actually relate to what's out there because that's what the media has primed the world to be to today. And with the internet and with the big pipes that my clients and the rest of the telecom and internet world is bringing to market, we're enabling a lot more bandwidth, a lot more data, and a lot more content to be delivered at any given time, which allows us to do video.
So going forward, what sorts of things can we expect from your organization?
Oh, we are really proud of what our clients are doing. We're excited about what they're doing. And everything that my team is about is helping them find their voice, their unique message, and then propelling that out to market. So you will continue to see us on social media, and that's where most of our information will be coming from. You will see us on the blogging, the blogosphere, and everything that we're writing about our clients. But beyond that, it is also about touching and being out in the marketplace, so going to events like IT Expo, for instance. You have to be out there. It is also ever important to meet people, to be front and center, to have the conversations. When you're talking on the phone or when you're reading tweets and you're looking at LinkedIn posts, you're only getting a very, very small part of what the overall message and opportunities are out there. So you need to be front and center, you need to have conversations, and you'll see us out there having conversations and listening.
So if I can sum this up, I mean, the world has changed. Technology has made it possible now for customers to, and potential customers, to get access to information from all these different avenues. Obviously there's events, there's always been events. But now there's social, and there's so many different types of social. There's also search engine optimization to bring the people to your website, and community building, and all these different ways of speaking to your customers. And the reality is that you need to be involved in all of them, otherwise you could potentially be losing customers here on LinkedIn, or you could be losing customers on Twitter. And so working with an agency like yours, you are able to help guide that company to have the proper presence across the wide number of channels, the almost infinite number of channels that they need to be involved with, right?
Absolutely. You never know who is reading, who is watching, and who is going to be somewhere that you haven't had the opportunity to reach.
And sharing, right? Because
Absolutely.
a lot of these social networks are all about sharing. So I could see a tweet and then say, oh, that's really a compelling thing that one of your clients is doing. I didn't know they're doing that, and I retweet it out to a couple hundred of my followers that happen to be in the industry that I'm in, and maybe that results in 3 or 4 sales. And when you're talking about a data center and could have customers that are $1 million a year customers, that's a big deal.
Absolutely. It's about casting a wide net, however, to a targeted area where you know those people are going to be interested in what you have to say. There are the specific shows, the specific online properties, the specific publications, just knowing that. And that's what iMPR brings, is knowing how to identify where your customers and your target markets are going to be, and then finding there's infinite, but there's a finite number of ways to get there, at least for now. But it's going to become continually more complex, and we aim to stay on top of that.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here today.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.